entertaining American troops. If you missed it the first time around, the Godfather of Soul is about to do it again. He's going back to Vietnam to perform with the USA Vietnam Friendship Tour on April 8th and 9th. James Brown is with us.
Thank you, thank you.
Good to see you, James. We're going to talk about this trip in a second. Let's go back to the height of the Vietnam War.
Yes.
You went to Vietnam. What do you remember? What was it like?
Well, one of the things what enticed me to go was the fact that at that time there were a lot of soldiers over there, and there were a little bit more Afro-American soldiers, but nobody would come over to perform and give them a little play. Not that I went to do just for Afro-Americans. I went for the country, went for the peace and humanity side of it. But I did go over and did Please, Please, Cold Sweat, and get on, and them kind of songs, you know, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, I Feel Good, you know.
What was the reaction like?
It was unbelievable. Like I had a voluntary ceasefire on both sides. I guess everybody was peeping, you know. And now everybody's brothers and sisters over there. But it was great. And the picture that you just showed was 126 degrees weather. And I'd reach over to the refrigerator and get a towel out of it, right?
Yeah.
And this towel would be froze. And before I can get it from the refrigerator to my face, it would be drenched. That's how hard it was. I don't know how I made it, but I was still doing my thing and feeling proud, you know. I had some very strange things happen. I was in Korea in that area, and DMZ, and they hadn't quit fighting yet, you know.
Didn't they shoot at your helicopter?
Oh, when I was in Vietnam, they shot through the helicopter. I'm standing behind a little thing trying to hide and watching the tracers go through it. But God was, you know, God was carrying me all the time. It's like footprints in the sand. God was taking me all the time. I didn't have no problem. I just didn't know it.
Now let's go to 1995. You're going back this year. Why are you going back?
I'm going back because today I'm glad. It seems that God has gotten that area, your brothers and sisters, and all of the bad things you want to put behind you. But a lot of Vietnam War veterans are going, and I'm sure the Vietnam, North Vietnam will be there, and South Vietnamese, and they're going to just rejoice and say, you know, we got it behind us. That's a chapter. And I'm glad I'm there. And also I want to mention a young lady who went along with me by the name of Marva Whitney. You remember Marva Whitney? She was a little trouble, but you remember. And she sang a smart thing, and she did a lot of songs over there. And see a pretty young lady like that was everything. So she's going back with me. She looks a lot better than I do.
You look pretty good.
It's a great thing. You know, when I'm 61, I don't think I can do it too bad.
Yeah, I think you do it just fine. Let me ask you about something else. You appealed to President Clinton to help save the Apollo Theater.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, tell me about that, because, I mean, that was an album, you live at the Apollo, many people call the greatest live album ever recorded. Tell me why you appealed
Well, I went
to
back for many reasons. Number one, the Apollo Theater is a mecca of show business, a mecca of street and soul music. It gave so many disenfranchised people a chance to get into the world, like myself. With a 7th grade education, my mother stopped in 4th grade, my dad stopped in 2nd grade. If it hadn't been for music, I wouldn't have been where I'm at. Now, I was doing well before I came to Apollo, but Apollo just gave me that world thing and started pushing me. So I asked the President, Bill Clinton, who I've known from Arkansas, who's a musician himself, and Vice President Al Gore, who used to come to the Howard Theater in Washington to see James Brown. And then Ron Brown should know it because he's part of the mix, right? And I appealed to all of them and said, look, let's build the Apollo back. I just recently played into the album called Volume 4 at the Apollo Theater. Spent my own money, spent the money right back in the community. Didn't try to take anything out. But bring back that morale because, ow, I feel good.
James, always an absolute pleasure, Mr. Brown, to see you. Vietnam's lucky to get you back again.
Well, I'm just sorry my daughter didn't come out. Well, not just she's been back from WMLD and radio station in Atlanta, who always pushes you and loves you so very, very much for being the kind of people you are.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. James Brown. We'll be back with a final look at the news.